Come now, my dear Euthyphro, tell me, too, that I may become wiser. What proof you have that that man was killed unjustly, who became a murderer while in your service, was bound by the master of his victim, and died in his bonds, before the one who bound him heard back from the seers what was to be done with him, and that it is just for a son to denounce and prosecute his father on behalf of such a man? Come now, Euthyphro. Try and give me a definite sign that all the gods consider this prosecution to be just. If you can give me adequate proof of this, I shall never cease to extol your wisdom.
This is perhaps no light task, Socrates, though I could show you very clearly.
Oh, well, I understand you think me more dull-witted than the jury, since obviously you'll have to show them that the gods hate these actions and consider them unjust.
I will show it to them very clearly, Socrates, if only they will listen.
They will listen if they think you show them well, but a thought occurred to me while you were speaking, and I'm examining it, saying to myself, if Euthyphro proves conclusively that all the gods consider this death to be unjust, to what greater extent have I learned from him the nature of piety and impiety? His action, it would seem, be hated by the gods, but the pious and the impious were not thereby now defined. For what is hated by the gods has also been shown to be loved by them. Let us assume, if you wish, that all the gods consider this action unjust, and that they all hate it. But is this the correction that we're now making to our discussion? That what all the gods hate is impious, and what they all love is pious, and what some gods love and others hate is neither, or both? Is this how you now want us to define the pious and the impious?
What prevents us from doing so, Socrates?
For my part, nothing, Euthyphro, but you look as to whether it will better help you to instruct me what you promised.
Well, I would certainly say that the pious is what all the gods love. And the opposite, what all the gods hate, is the impious.
Let us again examine whether this is a sound statement. Or do we let it pass? And if one of us, or somebody else, merely says that something is so, do we accept that it is so? Or should we try to examine what the speaker means?
We must examine it. But I certainly think that this is now a fine statement.
We shall soon know better whether it is. Consider this. Is the pious being loved by the gods because it is pious? Or is it pious because it is being loved by the gods?
I don't know what you mean, Socrates.
I shall try to explain more clearly. We speak of something led and something leading, of something carried and something carrying, of something seen and something seeing. And there is also something loved and a different thing, something loving. Is what I want to say clear, Euthyphro? I want to say this, namely that if anything is being changed or affected in any way, it is not being changed because it is something changed, but on the contrary, it is something changed because it is being changed. And if something is being affected, it is not being affected because it is something affected, but it is something affected because it is being affected. Do you understand?
I do.
What then do we say about the pious, Euthyphro? Surely that it is being loved by all the gods, according to what you say.
Yes.
Is it being loved because it is pious, or for some other reason?
No, for no other reason.
It is being loved because it is pious then, but is it pious because it is being loved?
Apparently.
But it is loved, and God loved, because all the gods love it.
Of course.
Then the God loved is not the same as the pious, nor the pious the same as the God loved, as you say it is, but one differs from the other.
How so?
Because we agree that the pious is being loved for this reason, that it is pious. But it is not pious because it is being loved. Is that not so?
Yeah.
And that the God loved, on the other hand, is so because it is being loved by the gods, by the very fact of being loved. But it is not being loved because it is God loved.
True.